Everyone, welcome to another episode of Century Countess. Today is our meeting, as you know. I don't know if I'll be posting this before or after or a little bit later, but because it is about to be 10:30, so I have less than 30 minutes to get ready because I want to be there early because I do not want to bump into you know who on the way there. I want to try to avoid him as much as possible to where he doesn't have a chance because the meeting starts. So let's begin. So the first thing I'm going to do is my eyeshadow, get that out of the way, and let me see. I think we're going to do classic in inspo for my earliest golf makeup. Semi-early because we do have the cheekbone. We had just put in the cheekbone thing, but once upon a time we did not used to do that. Okay. And it's going to be semi-traditional. Okay. Got that one on. It's and we're rushing, so it's probably going to look butched. But the grunge look, the grunge golf look is a thing, so if it looks grungy. So I need to kind of use my screen to kind of okay. Right now we're gonna do the old-fashioned method, which is taking our finger and putting on the eyeshadow that way, because it's fast, it's quick, and it's well blended. Okay. So yeah, and then after the meeting, because this guy will love to stand outside in the lobby sometimes on the floor where we had the meeting and just literally chat, continue his thing about the program that happens once a year that he talks about all year round and all next year round. He talks about it 24/7, and it just gets old. It gets old, and it's like you're tired of hearing it. You know everything about it. There's no point in repeating. And like I said, in all honesty, I'm this close, literally this close to telling him he needs to go get a job application because he would make a good solicitor. He needs to get a job application, stand outside in the middle of the street, and basically be one of those people who goes, I know you want to sign up for insert program. It just gets old. And I deal with that every time when I go out. It's like I'm trying to get around them. I try to avoid them. And I think there's one person that's easily trying to avoid them, and then they jump me. So it's like if he wants to be part of that group, he needs to get a job application. Even if he is close to 70 or whatever. He talks like he's a solicitor, so he needs to be one. Alright. But you can tell that I'm kind of frustrated. But I do got some good news. I got paid. Yay! So I already started a little bit of golf miss shopping because, late October, early November, I like to do my golf miss shopping, get most of it done. But I have a few extra people I have to shop for this year. So that's going to be interesting. And I hope they love their gifts. I do know I have to finish some stuff. So today, since I got paid, I am going to, as soon as the meeting's over, I'm going to first fly out of here. And what I mean by fly out of here, I am going to literally run. I'm not going to even take the elevator because you never know if the elevator is going to be right there. Because, like I said, the person that likes to talk will start talking. And I want to avoid him as much as possible. And, I want to head up to a small, fabric knick-knack store up on Cap Hill, and basically grab a zipper because I was going to do eyelets for my LARPing costume, but unfortunately, oh shit, it's 3:30, it's 11, it's 10:35. Okay, I gotta hurry. So yeah, this is gonna be very quick, you guys. So unfortunately, I won't have time to do that. Good news is I did get a headdress. I will show you guys later the image of the headdress. It should be here this Friday, day of Halloween. Hopefully it gets here early enough before we start doing activities and shit, because the last thing I need is for it to be a late thing. And what I mean by late is that they do a late delivery and I'm not here, and around that time of late delivery, that's where the package feeds are out. And the new evening front desk person is lazy as fuck. It's like she still hasn't, she's been here for maybe, I'm gonna wait to pick that up, but she's been here for a good bit. And still hasn't learned my room number when I've come and inquired about stuff that was delivered at the front desk. And they keep saying, they get the floor number right, but they don't get the actual number. And there was a time where I kind of let her know that there was somebody from Amazon, and then she was just like, I don't know if she was stoned or what, but seriously, she wasn't looking at anything. She wasn't on the phone. She was just like, it's like, what are you doing? Are you just feeling sorry for yourself because you hate your job? Alright. Slip this. Okay. At 10:37. Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm slightly stressed because I'm in a rush. So I'm sorry you don't see much of this. Let's extend the lid just a bit. Alright. Now for a few, no, we're not going overboard because we don't have time, but let's just because like I said, we are going to be running after the thing. We're going to make sure there's no time. I am serious. So we are back. It's now 3 after 3, and I wanted to give you an update on what happened at the meeting. First off, they changed the time. It turned from 11 to 11:30 to 10:30 to 11:30. I wasn't informed. If I was, they didn't put a sheet on my thing. Later on, I noticed some people who did not attend, they still had notification sheets on their door, but I didn't get one, or somebody pulled mine off. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone pulled it off just to be petty. So some craziness. For one, it was very hard to decipher, but apparently there is, and this includes service animals and companion animals, by the way, and it also includes people who have been here for a while. But now they're trying to basically charge for pets, even though once upon a time you couldn't. And then they referred to it as it's a planned thing, and it might be mentioned here, but it won't happen. But then then it kind of got twisted to where it may happen, it may not happen. I got confused. But basically, here's what's going to happen. And like I said, this includes people who've been here for a while, so it's not going to be just for new residents. It's going to be a $250 charge for one animal, and then $150 charge for whatever extra animal you decide to have, and that includes service and companion animals. This was also the lovely idea of the same person who's trying to basically make us pay for utilities. And which was not a thing that was authorized, but they demanded that they be put in writing for residents. Didn't hear anything about that because, like I said, I showed up a little bit late because I did not get informed that they had switched it from 11 to 11:30 to 10:30 to 11:30. Also, in the future, we will be forced to do paperwork, so the meetings will be more lengthy. These paperwork will be goals and stuff. I am keeping my fingers crossed that it's not going to be something crazy. Because basically it's about goals, and it's about some sort of saving income or something. And I hope I don't have to do the income thing. Less than likely, I will have to. More than likely, I will probably have to, but like I said, I want to try to avoid stuff like that because, seriously, I don't want anyone to know about my business with my money, especially with what's been going on with the, like I said, the investigation or whatever it's called. Crazy Karen, the one that I've mentioned in the past, was there, and I thought I overheard them say something about with their life coach, because all the life coaches were there, and they approached them because I needed to speak with my life coach real quick. I wanted to give them a courtesy. Hey, I'm not going to be doing the yearly thing because this October is This October has been crazy, and I have to work on my health insurance thing as well as other shit. Yada yada yada. But I overheard just a little bit that they're working on a cease and desist. I don't know what's going on, but if she's trying to pull some shit with me, it's on. It's on because I don't associate with this person, and the only time I've ever seen them is if I'm taking out the trash and they just happen to be coming home, or they just happen to be getting off the elevator. That's the only encounters I've ever had. Nothing verbal, nothing at all. So if they're trying to pull something slick, I invoke all the forces of karma, all the negativity, all the evil. I enforce it all onto them, and I hope it destroys them. Because I am so sick and tired of this Karen. And I am sick and tired of the enabling. And I'm sick and tired of hearing them like, you need to remember this person has a mental problem. The last few people that have had a mental problem have assaulted people violently, and they're still here. All I can say is I'll be happy when I get the hell out of here. And I'm still working on it. The person that I mentioned was there at the meeting, and they did, they didn't do any lengthy speeches, but they had to bring up some suggestions for, and I hate it when people do that because sometimes when it's considered, it's just more of a hassle. Long story short, they're trying to make it like the transitional housing. So they're trying to, but I'm not going to go into that. Anyway, let's see what else. Also, they're shutting off the water again. They're shutting it off tomorrow from 8 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I went ahead and I grabbed 2 bottles of fresh drinking water. I grabbed makeup wipes. I filled up a jug of water. And that jug of water is going to be used for face washing and because I need water to shave at least. And then let's see, so that's happening. Shit. I also need to grab a few more things now that I got my first half of my check. But other than that, I am going to have lunch now. I just wanted to add this to my last video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.